right, guys, welcome to another episode of Xposure Runs, the podcast. I'm your host, Mustafa. Trying something a little different today, trying to be more inclusive with the culture of basketball and just Illinois sports as a whole, but in particular basketball, of course. Today we have two guests from the HF Vikings high school cheer team. Would like to have you ladies introduce yourselves. We'll start to my immediate right.
So my name is Elayne Evans, and I am the JV coach at HF High School.
And then my far right.
My name is Zenia Smith-Boyd. I am the head coach at Homewood Flossmoor High School.
Okay. First off, welcome, ladies. Thank you for coming on the show. Don't be nervous. Once we get going, it'll be just like a regular conversation, just with microphones.
Awesome.
Okay? All right, cool. My first question, right into, like, I like to just deep dive right into. I don't even like to swaddle or just kind of like dip my toe in the pool. I go right into the deep end. Okay? All right, cool. How and why did you both get into cheering?
Okay. For me, I started cheering as a very young girl, like 9 years old. So I had a very good experience coming up, you know, cheering in grammar school and high school. And I never thought I would be a cheerleading coach, but I think for me, I love inspiring people. I'm passionate about helping people. So that's my main reason getting into cheerleading, just seeing people grow.
Okay. Elayne?
And as for me, I did not start cheering until I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
And Coach Smith was my coach at the time. And so I did my 2 years of high school, and then I cheered in college. I went to Kentucky State University, and I was a cheerleader there. And then I enjoyed cheerleading. I love cheerleading. And then I stopped for a while. And then about 10 years ago, I received a phone call from an athletic director asking me did I want to be a cheerleading coach at Chicago State University. So that's how I started coaching. So about 10 years after I graduated college, I received the phone call. I guess someone had put in a good word for me.
Okay.
So then, so then 5 years later, I found Coach again and started coaching with her. So.
Just like I mentioned, like a lot of times how you guys respond to questions will spawn other questions. And two things that you both individually said. First, Coach, you said you like to inspire others. Can you talk a little bit about how you feel cheerleading inspires the youth? And my question to you, I want you to think about this. Like, all right, you think about basketball, football, baseball. Usually, you know, coaches will see somebody either at an open run or, you know, some tall kid walking through the hall or a fat kid walking through the hall. You said you didn't start till your junior year, so did a coach recruit you? Like, she would make a good cheerleader. She has nice arms and, you know, like whatever. Like, how does that go as it relates to you starting in your junior year? Did she recruit you? And so, like, I'll start with you, Coach. Like, how does cheerleading inspire young people?
I think cheerleading inspire young people by, you know, cheerleading is about being confident in oneself. Mm-hmm. So I think that that inspires people in itself. You know, who doesn't want to be confident? Mm-hmm. Who doesn't want to feel good about themselves? Mm-hmm. And so being able to be on a team with other people and growing with other people inspires you to be better. Because you're with other people and you're seeing how they grow, and then you see your own personal growth. It all culminates into one thing. So again, being confident inspires people. You know? Yeah.
No argument there. I know I'm confident. I like to think I inspire people. I know I inspire Bo. I might inspire Mark. I'm not sure, but the jury's still out on that one. As for you, like my question to you, like you said you didn't start till your junior year. So like, you know, did coach recruit you? Did she see you doing cartwheels in gym class? Like, how did that go?
So I ran track. I played basketball. Oh. I was on a dance team. Oh. So I just was trying to find my way. So I did like all the sports for the most part.
So the answer is yes, you were recruited.
No. So I just wanted to, that was the next thing to try. So I was on the dance team. We had actually won state my sophomore year when I was on the dance team at Rich Central High School. And then my junior year, I just went out with my friends. I had a friend, best friend, her name is Kenyatta. She was a cheerleader, so I tried out with her.
Did you find it to be easy? Like, normally young people, particularly, our young African-American children, they usually stick to things that they can be confident in doing, which is why most of our kids do basketball or football. They very rarely go outside of their comfort zone. So did you find it to be easy when you first started? What were some of your difficulties in trying out and then eventually making the team?
So, was it easy? So, I'm going to be honest. So,
Please, because I'll jump in on that one.
Back then, I was just like, I didn't want to sweat.
That makes sense. A lot of young ladies.
So I was able to, because with cheerleading, we did jumps, and I was a flyer because I was small. So I was a flyer. So that was exciting to learn all these different aspects of cheerleading, and then I didn't have to bust into a sweat doing this. So then I just ended up enjoying it and continue to do it.
Okay.
Can I just piggyback off that right quick? A lot of people look at cheerleading and they think it's easy. But depending on what level you're at in cheerleading, and we're competitive. So when you're, playing around and stomping around and dancing and juking, yeah, that's fun and that's easy. Because we're naturally, our body's naturally moving to dance. We got the rhythm to dance. But when you get to a competitive level, it may look easy, but it's not easy. When you get in it, it's a different thing.
So I'm glad you said that, right?
Yeah.
So as a coach, you said you coached her, and I'm sure you coached a lot of young ladies over the years. When you are attempting to have practices, right? Like you think about, again, basketball, football, you're trying to have practice, you're trying to have order, you're trying to develop a culture. How did you rope the young ladies in to stay focused on what you were trying to teach them, what you wanted them to retain, to come back the next day? You put in plays, if you will. Like what was your style, if you would?
Well, what I didn't share in the beginning was that my cheerleading background runs deep as well.
Okay.
So I cheered at Rich Central as well.
Okay.
In college.
Okay.
And semi-professionally as well.
Oh.
So, no, but going back to what you asked, the question, I think everybody wants to be a cheerleader. And I don't think you have to rope people in.
Okay.
Because you can look at it and see that people, they look good, they're confident. That's something I want to be a part of. Oh, I want to be a part of something that looks good. So you really don't have to rope them in. So when they do get in, and there's already, it's just like basketball, just like football.
I'm sure.
They already have their plays. They already have their regiment that is already set. And all you just have to, I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just stuck right with it. And that's why we're so successful that, we just kept the same plays in place, moving forward.
I do find it interesting, and I don't fully disagree with you when you said everybody wants to be a cheerleader. Now, that may be true, and I know, just speaking for me and the ignorance and immaturity that I have, it's for obvious reasons why if I did, it would be for that reason. I mean, I'm just saying. But then when you rope, like you said, when you rope them in, they're like, oh, this is actually fun. So now I'm killing 2 and 3 birds with one stone. I get to kick it with the good-looking girls, and I'm learning a sport, and then, from a competitive standpoint. So, yeah, I actually don't really disagree with you. Like, my wife, she was a cheerleader and she was a dance person. So I didn't join the cheer team, but I paid close attention to what she was doing on the team. Absolutely. And them little ass skirts and shit like that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thinking back to Overbrook High School and feeling like that. Okay, cool. We gonna keep moving.
Absolutely.
All right. What does those tryouts look like? When you're having tryouts for cheerleading, and I don't know how to phrase this question. Like, when you're a basketball coach, any other sport, not to keep referencing the different sports, but you see people come out for the team, and you like, shorty, what the hell are you doing? You ain't gonna make this team. Do y'all have that? And what does those tryouts look like?
Absolutely. You want me to take that? Mm-hmm. Just like any other sport, just like basketball, just like football, we're looking for skills. We're looking for skills. Do you have the height on your jumps? Can you tumble? Can you stunt with other people? Can you work well with other people? All of those things are things that create a good cheerleader. And so we're looking for people that are athletic, that has athleticism, that has the will, or they want to be an athlete. You know, so you have to be able to do something.
Okay.
You know.
And I'll piggyback off of that. So, as you know, at HF, they also have a freshman team. So, the being coachable part and wanting to learn the skills, that's the part that we look for when we get the incoming freshmen, to see if they're willing to learn and stand up to those expectations to get to the next level.
And like most sports, that's very key that you brought that up, because like with most sports, they have to have some sort of discipline, and they have to be able to learn and be coachable, like you said. So I find that something that you said, you talked about the stunts. I'm going to assume that goes beyond the flipping. That's the pyramids and the lifting and the this and the that. I always get so petrified when I see that, and then this is the worst part for me. I haven't seen it yet. I've obviously seen them on TikToks and things like that. Like when they're done their thing, and then they go to release them, and then they got to catch them. I'm like, oh my God, please don't drop them, please don't. They was doing it at when I saw y'all at the yeah. That's very scary. How do y'all teach that? And have y'all ever had any serious accidents?
Never, no serious accidents. And we train technique, so that those accidents less likely happen than more than likely. If they're trained properly, it's just like any motion or any motion you're doing, you'll be able to catch or toss up, grab, whatever. You'll be able to execute that stunt and execute it well with the proper technique.
Do you guys record your practices and competitions to do game filming, if you will?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And like, what does that look like when y'all doing game film? Like, girl, you missed your tumble. You tumbled 4 times, and I said 5. Do stuff like that happen?
We stay up all night.
Okay, all right, cool.
We stay up all night and writing notes. You at this, you did this. This
I be
needs to
coaching.
fix this. Like
Coaching.
we have to go in and change stuff around. Like if the judges make comments, changing the routine. Like
Okay.
it gets serious.
It's intense.
Oh, we're going to get to that. Okay. What's that cut down process like when y'all sitting together? All right, so y'all done had 25 people come out for the cheer team, and y'all got to get it down to 10. Like, walk me through a cut down process.
So starting with the skills first.
Okay.
So as far as like tumbling, if you can do a stand and tuck, if you can do a run and tuck, if you can do a whip pass, that puts you at the top. If you can do a full, then hey. So that kind of puts you with the tumbling. But if you're a beginner and you have a back walkover and you doing a round off, things like that, it's kind of like you got a lot of work to do.
It's like basketball. Like you have an A and a B team. The A team, you have your more experienced players. Your B team, you have those novice players.
Okay.
So cheerleading is like that too. So if
Okay.
you're just starting out,
You're going to be on that B team.
right, you'll be on that B team.
You're going to be on that B team. We might select you, but you're going on that B team. Absolutely. Okay. All right. How much does the evaluating and just kind of paying attention to the players, if you will, or the cheerleaders interacting and meshing together, how much does that play a part in the culture that you're trying to build when you're paying attention to the groups of, with all due respect to the ladies, y'all running packs. It's kind of like this group over here and that group over there. Like, how do y'all keep that? Hey, how y'all keep that down?
So of course we deal with majority girls. We do have male cheerleaders, but majority girls.
I'm gonna get to that too.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to that too.
We just kind of build a culture for them to be comfortable and let them know that we are all here for a reason. So whatever issues you may have outside of cheer, you can't bring that to cheer. So as coaches, we make sure that we set the tone for every practice, and we make sure that we communicate very well with the team. It's an open door policy.
Okay.
So if you and another cheerleader are having issues, we need to know. So we have like little sessions, we talk, we communicate, we do team bonding. We do a lot of different things to try to make sure that the season goes well, because you have to have trust in cheerleading, because we do stunt and
Right.
do all those different things. So
You talked about the team bonding, the importance of just the open door policy. But again, like any other sport, basketball, football, he may not want to talk about it, but just using Mark as an example, like their team, they're early in the season they were playing well. Then they had a rough patch where they wasn't playing well, which could be contributed to coaching. It could be contributed to the individual play of the players, not buying into the team concept. When y'all are faced with those type of things, like as the head cheerleading coach, how do you deal with that? How do you rope them in? How do you get them all back on board to let them know that there's obviously no I in team?
Well, for me, I like to. My focus is when we come together, we come together all as one for one reason.
Okay.
For one thing, we come together for cheer. So all of those other aspects, like Coach Elayne just said, those are outside of this room. So we come together and we're gonna focus on cheer, and that's what we're focusing on.
Okay. This is probably my favorite question, although I got it here. I should have put it at the end, but
Yeah.
how important do you think, or do you feel that cheerleading as a whole is important to the culture of sports, basketball, football, baseball? Like, how important is what you guys do and what you guys teach to the culture of sports as a whole?
That's a good question.
I know that cheerleading is very important to the culture of sports and all of that stuff, because cheerleading, just like any other sport though, so because cheerleading is a sport, like
Yes.
yeah, so cheerleading is a sport, we got that out the way. But cheerleading, just like any other sport, it stays with you for the rest of your life. It teaches you lessons for the rest of your life. Life lessons.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's why it's so important. And I'll say that till the end of my life, because I have coached kids that are now doctors, lawyers, judges, superintendents, principals, you name it. And they all come back and they talk about the positivity, the discipline, the dedication, and the hard work they had to do in cheer.
Okay.
In cheer.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know that.
Did you want to touch on that a little bit?
No, I think she covered.
Okay. All right, cool. My next question is probably what everybody would like to know. Like, those cheer competitions, some things get intense. Like how competitive are they? Like, what are they like? Talk about them. I want your opinion on this one. Like, and the reason being, and this is no whatever, like, I feel like, you're a little bit closer in age to some of your cheerleaders, and so
thank you.
What I mean. So I feel like I'm about to get in trouble.
Right.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
You said it right.
Okay, cool. Because I didn't want to go off.
I'm on a total other
Right.
different spectrum.
And so the reason why I say that, so when I've worked with kids since I've been here. I started off as a high school dean. I worked my way up to a director of operations. Like, so I've worked with kids throughout almost my entire tenure of being in Illinois. And the one thing that I will say that has benefited me is the relationship building and just being not too far removed from some of those instances of being in high school. But more importantly for me, it's not forgetting what that was like. As we become adults, it's like in anything. You become an adult, you almost forget what it was like in those moments. And honestly, childhood and adolescence and teenage, some of that shit has never changed. It just, internet and all of that, but like some of the peer pressure and the feeling and the isolation and the confidence, that's been the same since the dawn of time. So, for you, like, how competitive are those competitions, and how easy, or maybe not so easy, is it for you, because you're not too far removed from being a cheerleader to now being a cheer coach?
Yeah, competitions are very intense. So we train. And our routine typically is about 3 minutes. So we have 3 minutes on the mat.
That's a lot.
So, but that 3 minutes go that fast.
I'm
and
sure.
within that 3 minutes, you have to stunt, tumble, cheer. You have to get facials. You have to get energy. Like, you have to be tight. Like, it's a lot that's entailed into that 3 minutes. And so The goal is always first place.
Of course.
And
I'm not doing nothing for second place.
So that's always the goal, but we also teach our teens, our cheerleaders, that zero deductions is a thing.
Okay.
So if you can hit the mat and you can hit zero, then one, that sets you apart. And then two, that puts you at, kind of like the top of the rubric. It's because we crunch the numbers. So we have a rubric. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4.
Okay.
And so your skill levels have to meet the rubric.
Okay.
So that's what we spend a lot of time when we're watching films, making sure like we have level 3 stunts and level 4 tumbling, level 4 jumps and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot to. So competitions are very intense. It's a lot of work, and the goal is to hit zero.
Is it shit talking in cheer competitions? Like, yeah, you see me flipping. You ain't doing that shit. Do they be doing that type of stuff? I mean, I don't mean to curse in front of you, but do they be doing that? Because you know it's trash talking all other sports, and if we gonna say cheerleading is a sport, then it gotta be trash talk.
For me it's different. Like I was about to go way left. Talking about just competition. I was going way left. I wasn't even where what we do to get there, anything like that. When you talk competition to me, you don't have to talk trash. My thing is, it's all about what you do. You can talk all you want.
Can you do it?
Can you do it? Can you do it? And not only that, like when you think of competition, even when you think of competition basketball, what level of competition are you talking about? I like to say that cheerleading is all-American cheer. And when I say all-American, everybody, right? Not just one particular race. So when I look at competition, I'm looking at way up here.
Right.
So
don't matter the race.
Don't matter the race. But when you get all the way up here, what do you see?
You don't see us normally.
Exactly. And so because we want to be up there.
So is that the competitive fire for you?
Exactly.
Okay. That's
where I'm at.
Okay.
That's where I want to be. I want to be all the way up here. I don't want to be. I'm never mediocre.
Right.
I'm never like in the middle.
That's that AKA coming out right there. That's that AKA coming out. We're going to touch on that too. Like I know a lot of AKAs. You talking just like them. That must be indoctrinating in the process.
I'm just saying, let's get all the way up here. And that's where we try to take our kids. We try to get our kids up here and stop doing all this talking about what you can do and what you want to do. And let's put in that hard work and let's get up there and get there. And I think that's why we've been so successful throughout these years. And I think I'm even more successful with Elayne. I've been successful before her, but I'm even more successful with her because she sees the vision. She understands it. She's with me on it. And for us to stay up here, we got to work.
So since you went on ahead and opened that door, I'm going. You ready?
Let's get it.
Okay, let's go. All right. So you talk about being up here. We talk about being All-American. We know that what that means outside of our community when you talk about All-American, right? Particularly in the cheer. We talked about before coming on the air that every damn thing we do as a people, we eventually dominate.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no question. Like, you're like, oh, you got a pin sport? I'm going to eventually be the best pin pusher in this month.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. Ain't nobody going to be a better pin pusher than me.
Nobody. Yeah.
So when you talk about that and getting to that level, what do you see our young people, that blockage for them wanting to get there, needing to get there, or like what do you see in that realm? Like why haven't we done it yet?
I think confidence.
Which is the number one thing you mentioned.
Yeah, confidence and mental blocks. Our kids, and also, this is a real big one. When they see the other side, when they see the other people, they become, shell-shocked. They downplay what it is that they do. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
When we go against those teams, they always look at them and say, they're great. They look good. They good.
It's like, well, what about y'all? Y'all great too.
What about you?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're saying about us. Mm-hmm. When we walk through the door, they're like, oh my God, you guys are amazing. I know. I know.
Stop playing with me.
But we don't know. We don't feel that. We don't feel that. We don't feel that we're great, but we are.
Is there a undertone or overtone of like a racial thing there when y'all go to these competitions?
Absolutely.
How do you deal with that?
Well, how I deal with that is I'm always walking with my head held high. So before we even go into things like that, we tell them, like, you have to, walk with your head up high. You deserve to be here just like they do, because you put in the same amount of hours, the same amount of practice, same amount of blood, sweat, and tears, and you can do the same thing that they can do, and you can do it better.
The cheer competitions, like I would imagine, the ones I've only seen has only been in facade movies. I forget the movie with Gabrielle Union, who's one of the actresses. I can't stand her, by the way. I don't like her. Okay, I don't like her movies, but I did see a little bit of the cheer movie. Is that how those things are?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
How are
That's TV?
TV.
Yeah.
I hate the movie.
Okay.
What is the name of it?
Bring it on.
Bring It On.
Right. So it ain't like that with the whole.
No, and I only watched Bring It On 1.
Okay.
And I took the cheerleaders to see that movie, as a matter of fact, when it came out. But there's a sequel to it, 2, 3.
Right.
No, that's not cheerleading.
Okay.
That's not cheerleading at all.
Okay. Did you want to add something?
I will say that maybe like down south, because again, Coach coached me, and she coaches in the All-American style. So it's about technique and everything like that. So a lot of what you see like in that movie and in other cheer programs within our culture, they practice those type of cheers.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a little like different
Styles.
I'm trying to think of how to compare it to another sport, but
I mean, sometimes sports don't kind of other than the teamwork aspect. It might just be that.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just different styles.
How do when you guys are faced when you are faced with those adversities of y'all get to these competitions and the play, you can kind of see it on their faces and their body language of responding to like, oh, we're not as good as them, or they might be better than us. Like, how do you guys respond to that, and how are they responding to that adversity? Like, what is your team? What is the players? What do they do to respond to that? How are they responding to that?
For me, I like to think that you have been prepared. Proper preparation. You've already been prepared. So to get down here and feel a certain type of way, it angers me. Because
we didn't prepare for that. We prepared for the opposite of that.
Say that. Exactly.
I don't prepare you for fear. I prepare you for getting over fear.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So I'm angry.
I could be a cheer coach.
Absolutely.
Inspirational quote. I got the quotes wrong.
Absolutely, you can. But I think that's for all coaches, and that's why I don't like to say cheer sports,
right,
because again, we're coaching just like you coaching basketball and you coaching football.
Talk about it.
It's the same thing. We prepared you to win. So get out there and do what we came down here to do. That's where I'm at.
I would cheer for her. I would definitely cheer for her.
But I'll piggyback off of that.
ahead.
So we affirm to our cheerleaders that you are great, and that we affirm to them all these different things about them being great. We pray, so we make sure that they are in the right mindset. Sometimes we bring in somebody to meditate, things like that. So we have different practices to make sure that they are prepared mentally. But on top of that, given that we do coach at HF, the cheer program has a reputation. So, and it's a good reputation. So, given that when we walk through the doors at the competitions, the other teams already pretty much know, like, oh my God, y'all are so good, so good. So they do give us our props and things like that. And so that kind of help our cheerleaders be like, oh my God, whatever. They want to see us and things like that. So it's just a lot of different things that play into it. But then coach, make it down to state every year. And like this year, HF was the only black team at state with 100 teams. It's 4 different divisions, but HF was the only.
So I chuckled when you said you brought up HF as far as the expectation, right? I have a I don't even know what to call it. I have a just like a love-hate relationship with the HF community. Right.
But I'll say,
Go ahead.
goes back to Rich Central.
Okay.
Coach is the only state championship cheerleading black coach in the
state of
Illinois.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that.
And she won that title with Rich Central.
Wow. We should have led with that. Like, I wish I would have had that piece right there.
You know what? Everybody's always telling me to start off with what's great. And I never do, because I think it's always going to come into play, because that's what
That's a huge accomplishment, though.
It is a huge accomplishment, but it's not about me anymore. It's about me bringing the kids up to be the same number one that I am.
Right. So I
So inducted into the Hall of Fame, cheerleading coach.
So wait, hold on. Now, hold on. We got to start this shit up. Like, wait a minute.
Get your flowers while you here, girl.
Wait.
This is true. This is true.
I agree. Like, we don't do things. We don't do things just for ourselves, especially when we are thrusted upon or tasked with shaping the minds of young people. We never want it to be about us, especially when we're teaching a concept of teamwork. However, I'm with her. Like, you're the first and only. Like, so, like, you did it first, and nobody else has done that since you have done it.
No other African American.
No, I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
I was going to get to that. Yeah, because, I mean, there's been other women that, we're not talking about them. Like, no, we ain't talking, we talking about you. We talking about you. The first, and then only African American woman. So, like, it's like 1, 2, it's like 6 things there. State champ, and you're in the Hall of Fame. First of all, I didn't even know that there was a cheerleading Hall of Fame, so that's awesome.
It is.
That's effing awesome. Like, and I'm sure that just kind of blew my mind, and it actually kind of took away from my thought process, because I was about to kind of get on the HF people a little bit. Like, I always take my opportunity to kind of get on them.
Hold on.
Hold on. All right. So this is all right. So I'm chill, but just know, because when you said the expectation, but I mean, to your point, and in all fairness, I can say what I want about HF and the people and the this and the that. The one thing that they do have over there is an expectation of winning in all things.
Yeah.
Life, sports, school, life. Like, there is an expectation there, like, up to the point where, like an old guy, like, I got into it with this old dude.
Yeah.
Like, years ago. Like, it was ugly. Like, he was on the cane and everything. I was like, yo, like, I don't give no fuck about no. But y'all got that. And I give y'all that. So I thought that was funny. Do you guys ever worry about, and this is my immaturity kicking in right here, just an FYI. Do y'all ever worry about, like, the male cheerleaders getting a little handsy with the ladies? Yeah, I told you.
I would say back in the day cheer.
Right.
Maybe back in the day cheer, when you had, I don't even know if it's appropriate to say, but back in the day.
I know where you're going, because that's a question too.
Yeah.
That's a question too. Go ahead. Open that door so I can walk through it.
So when you have masculine cheerleaders, then you may have to worry.
But I got you. Go ahead.
You may have to. You don't really worry about it, but But
so you would have to. Mustafa. That would have been you. Every practice.
I know.
Every practice. Boy. Okay, just go. You wouldn't even been able to come up with.
I've had those kind of practices, so I get.
Oh, okay. So it would have been nothing new.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Nothing new.
That would have been me. Boy.
football players have been cheerleaders. So in the off season, they'd be cheerleaders.
Okay.
And so they, all about the girls. So
Okay.
it's just,
How have you guys had to deal, like when you have had those situations, how have you had to deal with them? Like what's the conversations like? What's the redirection like?
So my question to you would be, how is that any different than the same sex relationships that's going on in the world today?
That's a great question. And I don't know. I don't know how I would answer that or how I would even deal with that. Obviously, working in schools, we've had to deal with that outside of the sports world, in particular cheerleading, since we're talking about it. But like, you try to deal with it you try to deal with it with that same mindset of, first and foremost, maturity and, just trying to understand the people, having empathy or whatever they're dealing with. Like, you try, you try. But I don't know. It's a case by case basis.
But no, to her point. That's exactly what we do. We treat it just like we would treat any other situation. Mm-hmm. So if you were a girl and a guy, whatever, it's about respect.
Period.
And time and place for everything. So in cheer, in practice, this ain't that.
This ain't the time. This ain't the place. I'm a Hall of Fame coach. Stop playing with me.
Hello.
Okay. All right. Cool. How do you handle? Since we kind of like opened that door a little bit, how do you handle the stigma of male cheerleaders? Right. As a particular with high school, the immaturity of their peers. You hear the term cheerleader, which is usually connotative with women. And then you have, regardless of the sexuality, but if you want to include that, you have men that come out, because when you get to college, there's, male cheerleaders, and they're not. I don't even know what the proper term to use nowadays is. There's so many, but whatever. Like, how do y'all deal with that stigma? You have a boy who wants to come out for the cheer team, right? He's, as you stated, he's masculine, or he has that masculine whatever. How do you guys try to protect his mental state if he's getting teased by his peers or other women or whatever? How do y'all do that?
Got it.
I love that question. And because I'm old school, new innovative school too. Okay.
Hall of Fame coach.
Hall of Fame coach.
That's right.
But no, I like that question, because this is what I tell all the boys. Whether you a masculine boy or a more feminine boy, you are who you are. So if you come out for cheerleading, you are a cheerleader. Yes, you are a cheerleader, and that's what it is. Just like if you went out for basketball, if you were a girl, you're a basketball player.
Yeah.
You're not
a girl
basketball player
or a boy.
Right.
You're
a basketball player.
Okay.
So you come out for cheerleading, you're a cheerleader. You have to be comfortable with yourself.
And confident.
Yeah, and confident.
I pay attention. I just want you to know that I pay attention. Okay. I maybe not in school, but in stuff like this, I pay close attention.
Absolutely.
And to say,
go ahead.
all of coaches' teams have been co-ed. So she's coached co-ed. So she always.
Well, I saw the young men over. When we was over there. Yeah, I saw them.
But at the same time, to her point is, I've had an all feminine cast of males and an all masculine cast of males as well.
Have they ever?
And a combination.
Okay. And a combination.
And how do they mingle? How long does it? You know what? No. Here's the better question, because I know it's there. I know it happens. How long does it take before the maturity kicks in from the immaturity of them coexisting together? Because the immaturity I know is there from the onset.
It's there.
I'm not dumb. I already know that. So how long does it take to get over that?
Not long, because when you're building a team as one. There is no separation.
There's no masculine or non-masculine. It's just a team.
Right.
Okay, cool. I'm with you. Question for you.
Okay.
How you deal with that sassy drama with the females when you got that stuff going on? Like, what's your style? Like, girl, if you don't get out of my office with that bullshit, like, how you deal with it?
Ooh. So given that I am a mom of a teenager, so my daughter
college student
is 19.
Yeah.
So I just lived through those high school years.
Okay.
So it's still fresh.
Got you.
So when I started coaching, high school, she was in grammar school, but when I started coaching at HF, she was a sophomore in high school. So just from then to there, I coached her peers, actually. Mm-hmm. So friends that come to the house and hang with her, then I got to coach them. So, I do a lot of praying, because these young girls
are different.
They are a lot, but I am very passionate about young girls. I want to see them win. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them be great And so, again, I just do a lot of talking. We do a lot of circle time because when I see something, I can't ignore it. So we have to talk about what's going on. We have to figure out, like, why did you do this? Why are you doing that? What can we do to make this better? So I do a lot of talking with my teams, and I'm on a JV level. So I have sophomores and then sometimes freshmen. So the last couple of years, I had 8 freshmen and then probably like 9 sophomores. And then this year I had 7 freshmen. So they're very immature.
Extremely.
So trying to get everybody on the same page, build their confidence, because when you're a freshman and you come onto the team with sophomores, you know, you're already intimidated. And then if you have the skills or you better than, you know, the next person, they looking at you like, you know. So just trying to make sure everybody understand it's one goal.
Right.
One goal is to look good as a team. There's no I in team. They hear that from me all the time. And then we always say, put your super on your natural. So just be great.
Just super on your natural.
Yeah, you have natural skills. You have natural talent. Just put your super on your natural.
Okay. All right. Scholarship opportunities. How do they get them? What role do you both play in them obtaining them?
We play a big role in the girls obtaining scholarships. And now, thank God, I did get a little scholarship when I was a cheerleader. It was very small. Now, you know, black teams or black colleges are now recruiting.
Y'all sending out tape and stuff to the colleges?
Oh my God, we're sending out tapes. We're talking to coaches.
That's so awesome.
So more money is out there for the kids,
Oh, yeah.
and opportunities are available for the kids to obtain those scholarships. And because of their training that they receive, and they see how good they already are, they're always contacting. They're always in my inbox for the kids coming into their schools, trying to get them to come there. Yeah.
That spawned the question because there is an ongoing debate in other sports world, again, in particular basketball and football, where parents think coaches should play a bigger role in the recruiting process. Parents think that coaches should. Coaches think that parents should. Like, from a cheerleading standpoint, who do you feel plays, I don't know if bigger role is the right word to use, but who do you think plays the bigger role for your sport when it comes specifically to recruiting, the coach or the parent?
I think it should be the parent.
Okay.
Don't put that on a coach. What school do your child want to go to? I mean, what can you afford? There's some things that need to be done at home first before you throw it off on what the coach should be doing.
Okay. It's like 65 different spawn questions from that, but okay.
But to piggyback, I would say, like, once you pick your top 2 or 3, and then we can talk about next steps.
Right.
Okay.
So if you know for sure you want to go to a HBCU, which 2 or 3 HBCUs? But if you want to go to Nebraska, Ohio,
you got 25
How do you want me to work with that?
No,
Right.
that's what
you and your
happens.
parent have to figure that part out.
They'll give me
Okay,
25.
and I think that part right there is what's missing from our conversation, right? Because again, parents think it should be the coaches should think it should be the parents, and what's missing, at least from what I've seen with my 4 eyes, is having an idea of what your child wants to do. Some parents have no clue
Exactly.
what their child wants to do or should be doing. Have
Right.
none, and they don't even want to take any reins of that.
Right.
Yeah. So okay, cool. What is your process like? Like, let's say you got to kick somebody off the team, right? What's the process like to kick them off the team? And we're in the business of second chances when it comes to these babies. Like, it just is what it is. What's the process for, unless the violation is just far exceeding anything, what's your process to let them back on the team? So one of y'all can answer one and the other. So we'll start with you with kicking them off the team. No, you.
Start with me?
Yeah, kicking them off the team.
So would you say that I'm soft?
Of course.
Okay.
All right.
So like I told you, I have a passion for these young girls. I see the hope. Okay.
Okay.
So I do. I try to what happened? What's going on? But a lot of them, they love cheer, and they need something to do to keep them out of trouble.
Agreed.
So I think that, like for me,
or to keep them out of their homes. Sometimes their homes are so
That part.
toxic that
Yes.
they need to be around powerful Hall of Fame, first African American champion coaches.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
so go on. I didn't mean to interrupt
So
you.
yeah, no. So it has, like, the school, they would have to do something in school.
Okay.
And the school would have to be like, they suspended for, whatever they did was, and then it was like, okay, you missed so many practices, whatever,
Gotcha.
whatever. But if it's something like within cheer, like within attitude, or
Fighting.
just say even we don't have fighting
Okay.
in our program.
Oh, okay. Because football and basketball, they get it down. And matter of fact, in some cases, it's kind of like healthy. The coaches like that shit. Like, yeah.
No, you can't be fighting and then you got to put somebody in the air.
Okay.
No,
All right.
we don't do no fighting.
Okay. Go on.
I tell them, be ladylike. We ladylike over here. So I would just say, yeah, no. I try to save them all.
She does, and I think that's why I like Elayne being around me a lot.
Okay.
Or as a coach in my program, because I am old school, and I get that. But my thing is, I have less patience with reoccurring offenses.
Okay. Fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll give you a chance off of this, but then you doing it 2 and 3 more times, like you're not learning and I can't teach you.
There you go.
Okay.
Because I said, sometimes you got to cut that cord and let them know, I'm not playing with you.
Even if it's your best.
Even if it's your best, because I've had to do that, and it has broken my heart.
Oh, yeah.
When I have done it, because I care about the kids just as much as Elayne does, and I want to help too. I want to see you grow. I want to see you be your best. But it hurts me when I have to put somebody off the squad because of something that has been
Reoccurring.
Yep. It hurts and it bothers me, but it has happened. And then when the child comes back, so I'm giving them another opportunity that next year, they come back a different person. They come back to the person that you know that they can be, because lesson learned.
I had to, when I coached basketball at the school that I was working at the alternative school, I had to kick my best player off the team, like by far. Like it was like him, and then the drop off in talent was substantial. And I had to kick him off the team for a variety of reasons, but chief among them was just like disrespect and, and we were dealing with the clientele of student that we were dealing with. That was the expectation. Like you knew what you was getting, but you was trying to mold them into something else. So, but chance to chance to chance to chance. And it just got to a point where it was like, I had to do this for the culture building of the team, but more importantly for me, because it was going to get to a point where it's like, yeah, it's not about, yeah. And so I kicked him off the team. He ended up leaving school, and then I got really concerned that, he was a street kid. So it was like, we let him back in school. He had to work back into getting on the team the next year, like you mentioned, and he didn't even make it through the whole year. It was like a combination of like, he knew I was getting ready to kick him off again, and then he just stopped coming. So it gets difficult, and it does break your heart because you find that you pour the most into those type of kids. And then there's not a lot of support at home, so you try to be that surrogate of whatever they're missing at home, whether you're feeding them, loving on them, just kind of like you're almost giving them more than your own children.
Yes.
And you have to stop and look yourself in the mirror like, damn, like, I can't want it more than you.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay. Something that I love to talk about. You guys mentioned it. Can you re-mention? You said you went to a HBCU?
Yes.
You did too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not far.
Where HBCU again?
I went to Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio.
Okay, and you went
Not
to?
far.
Kentucky State University.
Okay, can you
Our
please, because I'm a huge...
Our schools are rival.
Really? That's funny. That's funny. I'm a byproduct of a HBCU. I went to the first historical black college university,
Love it.
Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. All right.
Yep.
Can you please just kind of, because I'm a huge advocate of HBCUs, like huge. And when my son was in college, I wanted him to go to a HBCU. Unfortunately, they didn't recruit him. I don't even know if he would have went had they did, but still, just can you just talk a little bit about the experience, the love, the joy of a HBCU, and what it means to be among our people, the same like-mindedness as it comes to expectations of life, of maturing, of developing, because everybody starts off at the same thing. Of course, some people kind of get there a little quicker, but being at a HBCU was by far probably the second best thing that ever happened to me, my children being the first. I loved every minute of being in college. And my stupid ass didn't finish.
Okay.
But that sample size of the experience that I had with college, like, it lives in me. Can you talk about what it meant for you both individually? I see the smile on your face, and it's like, I just took you back to the yard almost.
You did. You did.
Talk about it.
Well, for me, it was the best experience in my life. And I'm so thankful and grateful that I had the opportunity to go to a historically black university, because I did not, my high school years was that of, we were the minority. So I went to a predominantly white school. So to get that experience with my own, oh my God.
It was the best thing ever.
It was the best thing ever. And I say to anybody, if I could do my life over, any part of my life, that would be the part that I would want to do over, because of the experiences, the relationships that I built. I have lifelong friends from college, all over the world. And those relationships are still dear to my heart.
Very dear.
Yeah, very dear to my heart. And like I said, just the experiences that I gathered at the Black University, I didn't learn any of the knowledge that I have where I was in high school.
I learned it there.
I learned it there.
90% of the things that I learned in my life, I learned from Lincoln University. Absolutely. One of my favorite teachers that I had, Dr. Ford, was my biology teacher. He, in a semester now, because I didn't go right to college after high school.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I'm fucking done with school. Yep. And my dad was like, oh, you probably can't get into school anyway. I'm like, oh, okay, let's bet that. So I didn't go into the second semester. The minute I stepped on campus, it was like going to Atlantis. Like, just I can't even properly articulate what it was like for me. And I loved every minute of it. And I only went to Lincoln, ironically, because my best friend, Mike White, went there. Okay. And I went up there for a couple parties and blah, blah, blah. But when I got there as a student, it was amazing. Like, everything, like from the parties to the cafeteria to the probates to the just walking the campus to just hanging out on the yards, building friendships with people who were in fraternities, either trying to make a conscious decision of whether or not you wanted to join, or you just built that relationship with them. And then I loved it. I loved it. And Dr. Ford really poured into us. And I failed every quiz and his midterm, right? Did good in the class. I just was never a good test taker.
Okay.
And he pulled me to the side and he gave me an opportunity to retake a midterm, but like for the final, he gave us like this group project. But his teaching style was, I loved it. Like, I want to hear your experience. So, like, what was it like for you?
So the crazy part is, okay, so I told you I started cheering as a junior. And then I ended up being the co-captain on the cheer team. So when I got to Kentucky State, they didn't have a cheer team.
You started the team?
Right. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, what are y'all talking about? They was like, yeah, the girls last year, whatever. I'm like, okay, They had a cheer advisor. Her name was Mama Watson. That's my girl. And so I just went around campus like, hey, girl, you used to cheer? And so I ended up putting together this team. And so that right there that was like fuel to my fire. So I was just like excited. So then like some of the girls that I recruited, lifelong friends. And then the year after that, like the babies and stuff like that, still communicate with them and things like that. So yeah, everything about the yard, the professors, making sure they look after you. They take care of you. And so
even the ones that weren't black, they adopted our culture and they took care of us.
People in the financial aid office made sure you had, ma'am, get that Perkins law.
Yes.
They made it happen because like my mom was there, but the way the parents are like, well,
Yeah.
I may be one of those parents too over my daughter.
Because she goes to a HBCU.
She goes to Tennessee State University.
Absolutely.
But I had to apply for my school. I had to pay my application. And my mom was like, "You're not going to school. You're going to Chicago State." I'm like, "Mom, I'm not going to Chicago State." So I was like, so I had to do literally everything on my own. And so it even got to the time to take me to school. She like, "I'm not taking you to school." I'm like, my auntie's like, "Come on, I'll take you to school." My mom ended up taking me to school though. She cried her eyeballs out. But yeah, I had to do everything on my own. And so I just learned independence when I went away to school. And so I definitely encourage people. So if you don't go to HBCU, but at least go away. Go somewhere.
Go somewhere. Something that you said which spawned a question for Coach. You talked about lifelong friends. You then quantified that by joining one of the oldest. Oh, is it the first? Okay.
First.
Correct me.
I think everything I do is the first.
Oh, okay. Hall of Fame. Okay.
Everything I do is the
But
first.
talk about
1908.
the organization Alpha Kappa Alpha. Talk about the organization. Talk about the brief history, and talk about why you decided to join. I know just from sitting here and knowing the history on our campus, because the AKAs they carried themselves in a way. It's like. And I was friends with them all, okay? Right. But the AKAs did carry themselves. One of the ones that I was really cool with, her name is Kendall. I forget her last name, but she's the head basketball coach down in Maryland. And I just remember just the way that she carried herself. Like, first of all, she was like,
That's the thing.
She was one of them ones on campus. Kendall was definitely one of them ones on campus. I can name about 3 or 4 other ones that was one of them ones, but just give us a rundown on your sorority.
Well, I didn't think I was coming here today to talk about my sorority.
Please.
But since we have to go there, I'd like to.
Absolutely.
So I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay.
And the reason why I wanted to join Alpha Kappa Alpha is very simple. It's just like cheerleading. When you see something, like, dang, that looks good. So you want to join that thing that looks good, correct? So that was that. But I got my love or the wantingness to be an Alpha Kappa Alpha girl by my high school counselor, Shirley Phillips was her name.
Okay.
And I loved the way she carried herself. I loved the way she looked. I loved her, just her essence she was beautiful inside and out.
That essence.
Yes, I said, I want to be just like her. I want to be just like her.
Okay.
And so that's why I joined Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Is there a AAU of cheerleading? Like I know you know the AAU. I mean, you're married to a little funky basketball coach, whatever. But is there like an AAU version where like y'all out on the road, you got to pick the best of the best of the best, and y'all get out on the road and cheer? Is there a version of that in cheerleading?
So yes, there is. Cheerleading is so big. It's not that simple.
Okay.
It's not simple like, it's just AAU team like basketball. So with cheerleading, like you have rec league.
It ain't just like that. Like you don't do disservice to the basketball.
No. I love basketball.
Don't do that.
Basketball is the other 50 part of my life. Okay. Other 50%. But so they have like rec league.
Okay.
And then there's all-star cheer as well.
Okay.
And so is this the time to talk about Boss Nation?
Of course.
What?
I would think so.
Okay, and I'm like,
That was a segue.
I'm like, kind of lines up.
so I just want to make
That's the AAU version?
Yeah, okay. So we have started a AAU program, which is Boss Nation.
Oh.
So
Segue.
Right.
You're welcome.
It's so funny.
You're welcome. Go on.
So
show the little. You dig.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2022 is when we started Boss Nation.
Okay.
Which is it's a cheer program, cheer and mentoring program. And so We started with 2 teams, and then last year we had 4 teams. So 2023 we have 4 teams, and then we'll start our new session coming up in March. We'll start workshops and clinics, and so we have rec and we have an all-star team. So we kind of put it in. Put them together. Whereas most programs will either do an all-star program or there'll be a rec program. But we combine the 2. And so that's that.
All right, shout out to Boss Nation. All right.
That's Boss Nation.
Yeah.
Who came up with the name?
We kind of both did.
All right.
Yeah.
Put some things together, and what do you like best? And let's put these 2 combinations together. Kind of both came up with Boss Nation.
Okay. I know you said 50% of your other life is basketball. Do either of you like any other sports outside of cheer?
Basketball.
Okay. No football? You're not Bears fans?
No.
I
I don't like football at all.
Okay, at all.
I like football.
I don't
Okay.
Yeah,
like
I
it
don't
at
mind
all.
football. I like to watch football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But cheer is like, it just runs the life.
Coach's son played basketball.
Okay.
So she had a son that.
And my husband played basketball as well. I
Okay.
met my husband at Central State University.
As the cheerleader, and he was the basketball player?
Absolutely.
Hey!
All the players.
And he got the AK, so he hit the trifecta right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, I told you, like, that's what we... Oh, okay, all right.
Yes.
Is he from Illinois?
Yes, he is.
What high school did he go to?
Thornridge. Yeah.
And what college did he go to? Oh, y'all met in college?
We met in college.
Did y'all know each other prior to?
No, we did not.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And what was that like when y'all first met? Like, was you cheering and you saw him staring at you? And he's like, damn. Like, what was that like?
Oh, it was so weird. It was crazy. It was crazy because I had a boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
I had a boyfriend at home, and I don't know. Well, I had a boyfriend at home. He happened to, we were home for Christmas break. He happened to see Jeff with the basketball jacket on. It said CSU, and he was like, hey, look after my girl. She's up there.
Oh, shit.
Wow, that's tough.
So sorry for ya. So sorry for ya.
And that's how
He looked after.
He did.
Then he looked out.
He did what he was supposed to do.
You slow your blow, pimping. So if you see this, oh well. Oh well.
That was crazy.
Wow. So I met my wife in high school. We were high school sweethearts. I was on the football team. She was on the cheer team. I came from I used to go to a military school where I actually lived there. I was
So you
I was bad as hell.
lived
Yeah,
away
that's
from.
what
it was. And I went there in 5th grade.
Okay.
So I lived there from 5th grade all the way up to 10th grade. And then I came home, went to Overbrook High School, and that's where I met my wife at. And at the time, she was like, trying to hook me up with other people, and I was trying to hook her up with other people, but I always had a thing for her. And,
Of course.
I mean,
She always had a thing for you.
Hey, yeah, okay, apparently so. And, we ended up getting together, but we broke up when we went to college. Like, I'm going to college. I need to soil my royal oats. I need to be out here, expanding myself a little bit. But then, I got back with her.
Yeah.
Right.
So it is what it is. We've been together for almost 20
Full
years.
circle.
Yeah, full circle moment. We got 2 kids. Lastly, my last question, last 2 questions really is, how important are these type of platforms? What we do up here at Xposure Runs to shine light on the different sports. Or right now we're doing mostly basketball, but to give some light to the cheer world. How important are these type of platforms for you guys in the cheerleading world?
So actually, this is fairly new to both of us.
Okay.
So we don't know the type of what's gonna come from it or come of it. So, but it was fun sitting here talking to you.
I'm the first.
You are the first.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
I'm the
And-
first, Coach.
And we're thankful for the opportunity to be here because this type of platform will get those unanswered questions
Yeah.
from parents or even, young adults, that are interested in what
just
it is
want to
that
know.
we do.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
even the males that don't understand cheer and how passionate we are about the skills in the sport. Like, it's a lot of work.
It's
a lot
no
of work.
different than their passion for their respective sport.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether it be a coach who you happen to be with, it's like it's just as important as basketball.
Yeah, because they seem to think that
Let's talk about it.
it's a waste of athleticism.
Oh, does he now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have a conversation with
He
him.
feel as if the athleticism can be used in other places or other sports.
Oh, does he now? That sounds like selfish talk. Selfish Sagittarius
I
talk.
know.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know any individual that would think like that.
I don't either.
So,
But you guys definitely gave me a lot of information that I didn't have. I was happy to have this opportunity to speak to y'all because, for me, just thinking about you just think like, oh, you just go out there, you do some flips, you throw some people in the air, you try to catch them. You don't understand what goes behind the scenes and what goes into preparing for those things. So you definitely answered a lot of questions for me personally, and I try to ask questions that I think other people want to know. So
yeah, that's the thing too. I think a lot of people don't understand. Like cheerleaders are not just sideline cheerleaders, meaning they're not just cheering for the teams, because we also have our own season, which is our competition season.
Right.
So they go together because competition season is during basketball season. So our cheerleaders, they compete and then they got to do the games.
Right.
Compete and do the games. So it's a busy season for our cheerleaders.
would you say that the games are sometimes y'all practices?
Oh, absolutely.
It's always the practice.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I like that. Okay. That's why I kind of asked in the beginning, like, how important do you guys think that cheerleading is to the culture, right, of sports? Football, basketball. I don't know if it's cheering in volleyball or, any of the other sports. But obviously, the basketball, football. But I do think that it's important when you have cheerleaders on the sideline cheering for their peers. In some cases, the boyfriend or the girlfriend or or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important.
It is very important. It goes back to what I said initially. Everybody wants a cheerleader. Everybody wants to be a cheerleader, and everybody wants a cheerleader to cheer for them.
Are you damn
Everybody
right?
wants somebody cheering for them, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Cheering makes you happy.
I'm about to text my
Cheerleading,
wife right now. Tell her to put her cheer shit on for me.
exactly.
shit.
Cheerleading
Yeah.
pushes you to do well.
Yeah.
So we're in high demand. Seriously, when at HF, not only do we cheer for the boys' sports, but we cheer for the girls' sports as well.
Right.
The girls' basketball team as
Right,
well.
right.
But we do show up at other teams' games or whatever, just to sit down and just say, hey, good job, let's go, rah, rah, rah. But we love what we do so much at HF. They know it. We are in high demand. Like, they want us at all the games. And I love our basketball coach. He supports us to the highest level, and he's always like, if you guys aren't there, we miss you.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to all them coaches up there. They're all
Yeah, I'm
great
just
guys.
saying,
JD, obviously, the guy over here, he's, right. Dez and the rest of them guys, they
they look for the cheerleaders. I'm
they
telling
great.
you that.
They
'Cause
great.
this is about cheerleading, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is definitely about cheerleading.
It's about cheerleading.
It's definitely
they look
about
for the cheerleaders.
They look for the cheerleaders.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's all of my questions that I have. My last thing I do want to ask y'all, I usually ask the players to just kind of talk about their families. Like, the question that I usually ask them is, in my religion, in Islam, we believe that our children pick us as parents. And then hearing that, just kind of talk a little bit about knowing that your children, you have children?
I have one.
Okay. Your respective children picked you to be their parent. Like, just talk about your family, talk about your children, what they mean to you, and what does, the overall family environment mean for you guys. Let me start with you. One half of your family is already here, so.
My baby is everything to
Okay,
me.
okay,
Like,
okay.
yeah, Inaya, he did a good job with her picking me as her, because I'm gonna make sure she's good. So it's a blessing to be her mom. Actually, she's a good kid, and so I'm just excited to see what the future has for her.
Okay, Coach?
And I would say the same thing. I am blessed to be chosen, and I feel like, my son he will be 25.
Okay.
So just growing as into an adult, because he's still a young adult, just growing into an adult, I think everything is about teamwork. Everything is about, pushing each other to that next level, working with each other to make sure everybody is great and being their best self or the best version of themselves that they could be. So that is really important to me, just about him being the best version of himself that he could be. And it's because it's hard for a young man, just as it's hard for a young woman, but for a young black male, you know, without the support of other mentors and other people in their lives, it can be, you know, detrimental.
Tough. Yeah. Yeah.
It can be detrimental.
Well, I do again thank you, ladies, for taking a few minutes out of your day, evening, to come up here and spend with us. I really enjoyed talking with you guys. I hope I made you guys comfortable and you guys enjoyed being up here. I want to, of course, give some shout outs before we go. First, I have to start with, I took a verbal beating the other day. I did shout outs and I got home and Ziggy was very distraught. He was distraught that I did not give him a shout out. So 6, and he watches my podcast all the time. We did that one live, so he usually catches these when we're recording, and when we do the live ones, he can watch. And when I gave the shout outs, I said something about family, and he told my wife, like, well, where is family? Why you didn't say me? And I said, oh, shit, okay. And so I sent him a message, which he sent me one back, but here's his own personal message. I want to say shout out to my son, Ziggy, Zayden, and then my oldest boy, of course, Xavier, who's in college as well. He's a freshman in college. Of course, I want to give a shout out to SVI, our sponsor, our clothing sponsor, our sponsor, Anthony and Grant Leach, AGM Plus, my guy Bo sitting over there. I guess I'll give a shout out to Mark sitting over there. Of course, Derek Ellison and Tyree Booker and Flash Gordon, our partner, our videographer partner, photographer and videographer. He's a one-stop shop. And then lastly, I'm going to give a shout out to Ryan Foran, who is my partner with the upcoming Showtown Showcase Unsigned Senior Showcase, which is March the 30th. Another great event that we're going to have. Last year we had about 50 college coaches there. I have a goal of 100 this year. Nice. So last year we had 50 college coaches from the Division 2, 3, NAIA, and JUCOs. So this year I'm going for 100 coaches. I do want to end with this, with the opportunity being presented to these young people when they get invited. I hope that they come with the mindset of taking advantage of these opportunities. We are way past the threshold of going to North Carolina and playing with, who's the damn coach at North Carolina? Hubert Davis. You may be going to Kentucky State. Which is a great university in itself, or you may be going to a junior college, or you may be going to an NAIA. Just take advantage of these opportunities. Don't let them go by the wayside. They are here for you. They are being provided for you at no cost to you, or your mom, or your dad, or your grandmama, or whoever the hell feeds you. And on that note, we'll see you in the next episode.